I don't know Roland Martin or any of the other commentators whose content I should be able to use by fair use, especially because I'm going to talk about this topic in the martial arts. Basically, I think that a lot of us in the martial arts feel like hard, heavy, hard hitting, full contact sparring. I think we're using it as hazing and as a rite of passage. When I don't think that should be the case for those of us who are not professional fighters, who are just doing this for self improvement and self defense. Because why do we need to do that? We should just be trying to be better at defending ourselves. We don't need to take a lot of damage. And not only that, how can you defend yourself if you're banged up? And this is me being hypocritical here too, because I still do some things with conditioning. Like I have an injury right now from conditioning. And it's really not necessary. And it's not something that I think we should be requiring of students. But it is what it is, and it's here. And after the intro, we're going to examine this topic a little deeper.
Where the kicks at? Where the pains? Where the holes? Where the throws? You know what I'm saying?
The problem that I have is, I have despised hazing my entire life. In April, it will be 36 years, since I finished pledging Alpha Phi Alpha, historically black fraternity. And the pledge process was changed because of this. And it is sinister, it is evil. And the problem is you have individuals who have this mentality that in order for you to earn these letters, then you need to be beaten, you need to be made into a man. And so these things have been happening for years. It is almost.
These letters, when he's talking about fraternity hazing, these ranks, if we're talking about hazing in martial arts, especially if we're talking about the ever coveted black belt.
Almost bankrupt our organizations. We had to pay out millions of dollars in settlements to fraternities and sororities. And it's high time it ends. This is a young black man who goes to an HBCU. My understanding, his father was a legacy, meaning he was a member of the fraternity, and he's returning home in a body bag. I'm sorry. That's not brotherhood. That's not manhood. The problem that I have.
He's talking about a specific hazing incident that happened at the time in this video. You can just do some Googling if you want to know the details. But, in terms of the martial arts world, you all don't think that we can end up sending students home or ending up in body bags ourselves, or, when we're supposed to be learning how to protect life, we could end up taking it in the name of being real, Now, this is from the Combat Base channel. This is, he's talking about belting rituals. This whole episode is all about hazing and about literal people being whipped with belts. That I've heard of some of the stuff happening in some martial arts schools. I've never been at one where they did this. And I've seen some video of stuff like this happening too. So I know it does happen. It just doesn't happen with me, and it's never going to happen with me. So, but listen to this take on it. This hazing is not what I'm talking about in terms of actually using sparring as hazing. This is about hazing on top of sparring. But listen to the twist.
I never experienced it either.
And I remember once having a discussion / argument after training, after I taught, about why would I have the male athletes get whipped, but not the women?
You never whipped a woman?
No, I've never whipped a woman.
Wow.
So does that mean I am a misogynist?
Yes.
Does it mean I have chivalry?
Maybe.
Does it mean that if it's wrong to whip a female, why is it right to whip a male, right? That leads an ethical question that I believe is worth philosophizing on.
Yeah. Do you have any answers to that?
It ultimately means to me that it's probably wrong to also whip the male.
I think so. I mean, If you had a whole group you were promoting and you were promoting a woman that day too, you just whip everybody else and not the woman?
You'd have to run.
Let me back that up.
Means to me that it's probably wrong to also whip the male.
I think so. I mean, if you had a whole group.
If it's wrong to whip one, it's wrong to whip the other. But since we're not going to whipping school, why you got to get whipped to learn martial arts other than the whooping that you're going to take during sparring? Anyway, I mean, there is injury. Any sport has a risk of injury. I mean, I've seen more injuries with basketball, people tearing that ACL, than I really see in martial arts classes in any place I've attended, honestly. It's like I kind of feel like I'm a little bit more scared of basketball than doing a combat sport. If it's wrong to whip and haze one, it's wrong to whip and haze the other. So why you got to do that? Why do you have to do that? And he's right. It is worth philosophizing on. There's really no point to it. Doing the forms is enough pressure. Trying to remember that with people looking at you, and then trying to do any type of sparring and trying to repeat movements that you've learned is tough right there. If you want things to be even more difficult for you, cross-train in the complementary discipline or a complementary discipline towards your main discipline. There is more than enough to keep you occupied and that you have to think about, that you have to try to do under pressure. If you need to be tougher, do some traditional calisthenic exercises, weight lift, run. Is more than enough to work your toughness. Try to keep your weight in a certain range. I'm having a hard time with that. That's tough right there. Then to, go through a Klingon gauntlet. Oh, I think he has gauntlet. Let me look here. I think he does have gauntlet in here.
And this is not a gentle art, even though people call it the gentle art, because it's relatively gentle, but I mean, why are we all jacked up
it's gentle,
it's gentle?
Yep, that's true. And I would also add in there, like all tribes.
Here we go. He's going to talk about tribes and, rites of passage.
Have a bonding ritual of some sort. And there's a lot of people that amateur anthropologists have speculated, and here's why I mean amateur, that, back in the past, all men would go through a ritual that they go from child to adult, either requiring a fight or a hunt or war. And modern anthropologists don't say that's necessarily true, but yeah.
All right. So moving on from the Iron Man, we see people doing the belt whipping thing, the gauntlet. So you saying that you were
that's the one
people?
That I regret. Now I'm sure someone will say, "Oh, Chris Outer didn't start that." I thought I started that.
Well, some people.
He said he started it, so it wasn't there, and then he put it there, and now it's there.
People have said it publicly that you started it.
I started that whipping ritual.
And a lot of people are still doing
it, and I regret it.
And it can be, why do you regret it?
All right, so.
Yes. Now, why does the man who began whipping people regret it?
Like all things, it can get out of hand. So that day, it started to get out of hand. Me and one of the other black belts there, I think it was Rick Williams, said, whoa, guys, all right, let's organize it where there's two lines. You have to go through the line, like one person got whipped in the face, almost in the eye, and then you wrap your gi around your head, and you hold your arms up, and then they're getting whipped. One hit, only one hit each guy, and we refined it literally that day, because the first guy you went through was way too fucking gnarly, and he was hit in the face.
And he never came back again?
I don't know, because I don't even remember who it was. It's quite possible. But so anyways, and then there was a time where I was promoting one of my now black belts, Eric Hemphill, to purple belt, and he was a young, tough as nails guy. And
Now, I'm stopping this not just to stop, copyright hits, but think about it. If someone gets hit in the eye, and this isn't even like a sparring accident, they get hit in the eye, they cannot be able to see. If they're blinded or partially blinded, how is that going to make them more effective at defending themselves? Take it from someone who got a toe in the eye once just doing sparring, because the guy was literally in the air. It was a great kick. But I mean, he was in the air, and I had to do, when I describe how I got out of, how I literally kept my eyesight and there's like no damage from doing that, people think I'm making it up. But I had to have like what a lot of people would think would be superhero levels of prior perception for me to get out of that. It's like, no, it was just actually from a lot of meditating and things like that that I've done over the years. You don't want to cripple the students or yourself in order to become more effective, because that's going to make you less effective, because I mean, you can't see. It's going to hurt you if you do that. Anyway,
Matt Thornton and Matt will blame it on me on him, put icy hot on the belt.
Oh,
So it not only gave a whip mark, but
it burned him.
tattooed in icy hot. And it was definitely wrong of us. Completely wrong. And admitting this in public, this is my mea culpa. Please forgive me. I at least know it was wrong now.
now I can respect that. And I do respect that. He did something. Now he knows it was wrong. But it was all in the name of making folk tougher. It was all a part of hardness. And this isn't even using hazing and using sparring as hazing. This is just hazing, not even in the sparring. In my opinion, we don't need to be doing hazing in martial arts. And we shouldn't be using full contact sparring as a form of hazing. There's no need to haze in the martial arts. Hazing is going to make you injured, which is going to make you less effective in defending yourself. You're going to have to compensate around these injuries. So let's talk about this. If you want, if not, fine. But I think we should talk about this, or we should at least think about this. Are we using sparring, hard sparring, as a form of hazing so that, we can say that people deserve whatever the rank is, whether it's black belt or even before black belt in some instances? Why do we really need to do that? Some level of contact is going to happen anyway. The training in and of itself is tough anyway. I think we should be trying to make people, tough enough or strong enough, if anything, to defend themselves. And what about the people who are at an age or in a health condition where they can't afford tough? How about making their toughness be mentally smart enough and tough enough to avoid hard, to avoid that, so that they can use their brains to stunt. I'm going to steal something from one of my associate instructors. He says stun and run. I love that. That's not me inventing that. That's Mr. Neal coming up with stun and run. Stun and run. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts and peace. And I think you should Google some of the stuff and some of the topics that are referenced in this video so you can get a deeper understanding of what's going on. And one reason why I like to reference other people's stuff is because it seems like every time I tell somebody that something's going on or something's an issue, you all think I'm making it up. And now you know I'm not making it up. And I kind of use this to say too, like, if you think that I'm torturing you because I'm asking you to repeat a form, you don't know what torture is then. Peace. Or because I'm asking you to stretch, then you don't know what torture is. There's torture stretching too, and I have done it. And I'm telling you, some of the stuff I've done, some of the conditioning stuff I do, but I'm telling you, it's really not needed. It's not. Not like that. Just learn the material and you'll be fine. And take care of your health and take care of yourself. Peace.
I do anything, I do anything, I do